Welcome back to the 2016 Australian Open here at the Melbourne Sports and Aquatic Centre. Thanks to Michelle Martin for the special commentary. We now have world number 80 Australian touring player and Squash Australia's coach coordinator, Zach Alexander, joining me in the commentary box for the men's final.
Thanks for having me, James.
My pleasure, Zach. Zach, you would have seen these guys and played against these many times. What can you tell us about the matchup and the players?
It's going to be very interesting. They both actually probably play a fair bit against each other. Campbell's based in New York, and Abdulla's just moved there as well, training with Rodney Martin. So even though it looks like on paper they're from sort of far away parts in the world, they've actually know each other game very well. So it is going to be interesting. They will be familiar with how they play, but it's still going to be a great, entertaining final. Abdulla moves the ball around really well. Campbell's very steady, so contrasting styles, but it should make for a great final. Do you have any predictions for the result?
Look, I haven't seen Campbell play for a while, being out of the professional loop myself for a while. So watched Abdulla play World Junior Championships a few years ago. Saw some great talent, and just wondering how he's improved and built on his game from back then. So I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, he's definitely super talented, that's for sure. I think the biggest knock on him the last 12 to 24 months has definitely not been his ability with the racket or his court movement or anything like that. It's a bit more of the mental side and a little bit of the fitness side, I guess. He seemed to manage to get better at both of those now that he's been doing a little bit of work, still with Jeff Hunt, but also with Rodney Martin as well. Sort of, I know Rod's been working hard on sort of getting his mental sort of focus better, and that comes with being fitter as well. So he has a bit more confidence in himself in terms of being able to play those long rallies and compete with these top guys. So I think he's found the right balance between being flashy and having all the shots, but also being able to dig in and play tough long rallies when he has to. And he's sort of now quite a tough customer to come up against.
So we'll have to see how this all starts out as the players start to feel their way through the start of the match and any pressure and nerves they may feel. And again, knowing each other's style, it may end up putting more pressure on each other.
Yeah, and I mean, I think honestly, from Abdulla, he must be very happy he's in the final. It was not one of the top two seeds, so it is an upset for him to be here. So I'd imagine it's probably the first final of a 15,000 he's probably been. I don't know 100%, but this is a really great result for him. Either way, he'll be looking to take advantage of this. So then the pressure is on Campbell, being the higher seeded player and more experienced. So the pressure is on him to take it. That's probably where the favouritism lies in these two, but that's where sort of Abdulla can use that. There's no pressure on him. He can be relaxed, and I think that's how he plays his best squash.
And I heard a rumour that any of these Qatari boys that win PSAs, when they go back home to Qatar, they get a brand new gold-plated Toyota Land Cruiser.
Yeah, or a Range Rover. Or
whereas if Campbell comes home with the win, he's going to get a six-pack of Rhinac.
Yeah, if he's lucky. He probably won't be cold either. But no, it's very good. I mean, yeah, Qatar and the Aspire Academy, where Abdulla has grew up training and playing, is an unbelievable facility in Doha. They give massive support to their athletes, not only squash, but soccer and all other sports that they have involvement in. So he's been afforded some fantastic opportunities by their funding and their government and their sponsorship. So they definitely love to see sort of some reward for the commitment they've put in, and Abdulla's sort of doing that really, really well.
Yeah, I've been over to the Aspire, had a quick look, and it looks like the gold class version of the AIS.
Nearly, yeah. I think at one stage recently it's the biggest indoor facility in the world, essentially.
And it's basically a school.
Absolutely, yeah. There's cafeterias and 10 soccer pitches. They've got all glass courts now, obviously gyms and cycling tracks, and there's actually a fair few Australians based over there. Obviously Dan Jensen was the coach there with Jeff Hunt for a while. Stuart Boswell has now followed their lead over there, so there must be something attractive over there.
Sounds like it, and boys doing a good job too. Campbell first back on court, looking to show how keen he is to be here.
Yeah, I think he'll be looking to assert his experience and sort of control over the game. He'll be wanting to play the match on his terms. Campbell likes to control the ball at a steady pace, really accurate. Abdullah's complete opposite. We'll be trying to fly the ball around, as you can see him warming up. A lot of dynamic movements, short, sharp, fast shots. So definite contrast in styles, as we said, and it's going to be interesting to see who has their way in the first sort of opening rallies and sets the tone for the game.
Campbell's won the spin. He'll be serving. Start of the 2016 Australian Open final. Slightly impatient, but however, you did say he would be looking to move the ball around straight away.
Yeah, we definitely won't see a shortage of shots from Abdulla. He'll be moving the ball around a lot. He just needs to find that balance between that and controlling the ball and tightening the balls up. Otherwise, you're going to see a lot of that Campbell forehand volley. I think it's his favourite shot, taking it into that front right corner. So we might see a fair bit more of that tonight.
So Zach, Abdulla having the biggest part of his junior and into his senior career being coached by Jeff Hunt. It just shows you the way the game has changed in style. Abdulla definitely not coming out in the true traditional Jeff Hunt style from back when he was on top of the game.
No, absolutely, and I think that's the way that squash is going, especially with having even like this being live streamed and PSA Squash TV. It doesn't really matter where you're from or where you're playing your squash now. The quality of the Squash TV product and the access that everyone can have, people are now watching, and juniors are watching the Egyptians coming up and the flair that's now in the game, not only from the Egyptians but from everybody, and that's sort of what the juniors want to idolise. So,
nice shot there.
As I said, Campbell's favourite spot and his best attacking shot is into that front right, so just keep a watch out for that. Abdullah's got to watch that part of the court. I think we'll see a lot of this from Campbell. Again, control down the backhand side. Nice, high, straight lobs. Try and really get each rally back on his terms. He's not going to want to play too fast around the front like Abdullah's going to try and make him play. So we're going to see who's getting on top in this first game very soon.
Nice shot.
And I think that's where Campbell has to be careful. If he is going to try and float the ball, it has to be really, really high or wide out of Abdulla's reach, because if it's off the side wall, he's confident enough. He's just going to keep taking it in and taking it in and taking it in. So if Campbell does float it up, he needs to follow it up as well and not just stand back.
5-2.
Great tight shot, sticking to the side wall there. Both players starting to find the angle on the straight shots.
Yeah, and Abdulla, again, needs to be careful with those angles, playing too many boasts and giving Campbell too much angle. He's got great touch and great skill on those straight shots, both sides at the front. Abdulla trying to inject a little bit more pace into the game now, I think. He'll still be trying to work out ways to break down Campbell, even in this first game. So looks like he's trying to up the pace a little bit. He'll be happy playing as fast as he possibly can. And as I said, Campbell will be trying to slow him down.
Let
3-6.
Campbell feeling he cleared enough and had a good length shot, but he couldn't possibly get straight across. Onto that quick, saw it coming.
4-6.
Yep, well read from Abdulla. Getting onto Campbell's backhand cross court. Wasn't wide enough.
Zach, when the players know each other's games so well, the holding and the deception, does that work to advantage or disadvantage? You know, if they know what you're doing, you can play on that and change it more, or?
Yeah, it's definitely a fine line. I think at the start of the game, especially when both players are moving well and feeling good, holding the ball for too long is not really of much advantage until the game's gotten a little bit longer and there's a little bit of tiredness and fatigue in their legs. And the ball's so bouncy as well. There's really not many shots that the players aren't going to get back no matter how well you hold the ball. I think they'll both be probably trying just to find their length still and feel comfortable out on there before they start holding it. I think you'll start to see, especially Abdulla, hold the ball and be a little bit more creative. Once his nerves settle, he still looks a little bit edgy like he was last night, but like that, then you're going to see those holds come out. He's got unbelievable variation on every shot that he plays, and Campbell needs to be careful not to then in turn send him up to the front too early.
Seeming like both players are enjoying the ball being put into the front forehand, both looking fairly strong with a lot of options up there. Always got to be careful of that cross.
Yep, and Abdulla knows it as well. It's just sometimes, as I said, with him, concentration and focus in between rallies has been one of the things he's been working on lately. So he just needs to straighten up a little bit more down that backhand side and just be prepared to play down there for a while, get back out in front every time Campbell floats the ball back out in front. And if he's going to go cross-court to the forehand side, it needs to be when he's in front of Campbell and he can be aggressive and hit down on the ball away from Campbell's volley rather than sort of flick the ball from behind himself as a way to get out of trouble, because Campbell's just going to be onto it all day. Notice Abdulla with the headband catching the sweat. Campbell going without the headband. I think it's probably causing a lot of the sweat on there. He is quite a heavy sweater, Campbell, so maybe that's part of the tactics. He knows he's going to get a bit of a rest with it, with a mop every now and then.
Part of the plan.
If he wins, he'll claim it as part of the plan anyway. That was interesting. Oh, again.
Nice fake out there.
Inside out, side spin, backhand volley. Wouldn't recommend that to try it at home too much, but these guys can do it. Tight from Campbell there on the wall.
Yep, you find that right angle, it's always going to be dangerous in that front backhand.
First game ball here for Grayson. See if he can take advantage. That's that width. Abdulla shaking his head as he walks off. He knows he didn't play a great game there, but you can only play as well as Campbell let him in that game. He needs to start getting the game on his terms a little bit more. So the second game is going to be very interesting. Campbell's got the headband on for this second game. Kiwis always love the All Black. They're not the All Blacks playing rugby union, but
feels natural to him. Campbell leading one game
slimming
to love.
colour as well, isn't it?
I don't think he has any issues there.
No.
So, Zach, you spent a lot of time with Rodney Martin, who's currently helping Abdulla. What kinds of things do you think he might have said there between the break?
I think he'll be warning him, like we were saying, a little bit about opening up the court and boasting too early and stuff like that. But obviously he seems comfortable now. He's just gone for the backhand nick off the first point. I think he'll probably be saying the same thing. Stay confident, though, as well, exactly like what he did in that first rally. Campbell was getting up to all the balls at the front, but he wasn't exactly getting onto them early. He sort of just looks like he's still warming up a little bit, so he's not... I don't think Abdullah's scared of Campbell's movement as much, so he will still be aggressive, but he just needs to pick the right time. and straighten up down this side.
That's. I was wondering if he would have got rid of. Oh, there it is. The cross court from the backhand.
But that's what he was doing. He wasn't doing in the first game. He wasn't hitting the ball down this side twice in a row. He didn't do it once. So now he's going 3 or 4 times down there. And he has a chance to be aggressive. It's the right shot to go for. The ball's there. The winner's there. And he can't stop himself from doing that. He can't stop playing his natural game.
Yes, nice work trying to keep the opponent moving and put it in as early as possible.
And that's going to be the thing with Abdulla. He's never going to be out of the game because he can string points and finish points so quickly.
Enough length on that one to do the damage.
A lot of the guys on tour these days, James, are choosing the Salming footwear. Both the boys tonight are rocking a few different colours. Which ones do you prefer, the red and yellow or the purple and the lime?
I've had the purple. I liked them. I'm on the Cobras now. Gone brighter with the orange.
Yeah.
Referee system comes out.
No complaints from Campbell there. It's a good sign.
Shot.
He's going to grow in confidence as this match goes on, Abdulla. If he keep the ball out of the tin, it's going to be very difficult for Campbell to control him once he gets confident, I think.
So it's possible, as the confidence rises, that could possibly run away with it.
If everything goes in and he's having one of those amazing days from here on in, potentially, but Campbell's experienced enough to get himself back in the game and slow the game down and try and get the game back on his terms.
Lucky.
Yeah, there's definitely a few little subtleties and nuances on this glass court with the black ball. I don't know of any other tournament that has that combination. Obviously with the glass court, usually the white ball, but with these coloured walls, the black ball comes up better. It does react a little bit different than the white ball that the players would be used to playing with. But the still playability of this court is still fantastic. The reward per shot is still great, as you can see.
Nice.
It just takes a little bit of getting used to.
Got to be careful here.
Yeah, there are important stages in this game, and this second game is crucial either way. Abdulla wins it, he's well back in this match. Campbell wins it, Campbell's going to grow in confidence and then be really, really difficult to come back from Abdulla for 2-love down.
Caught behind on the looser ball.
Yeah, I think the referees are being very strong, rewarding the player who's in the right position and who has hit a good tight shot and just moved back to the tee with the no-let against the opponent.
We've heard them talk about a stronger position or a power position on the tee, and being favoured for having that tee position first. Pretty tough to argue with a 3-ref system.
And it's also hard for one ref to have to do the explaining all the time as well.
Pick the biggest ref to sit him in the middle.
I don't think Abdulla will be wanting to come off the court and talk to Nathan, that's for sure. pace is going up again. Abdulla knows this is a vital part of the match. He's got to go now. He's got to be positive. He's got to take the game in his hands. If he lets Campbell get on top here, he's going to be in trouble for the rest of the match.
Nice drop, but looked like he slipped a tiny bit. Still had enough strength through his position to hold there.
Yeah, very flexible, very strong. Doesn't look it, but very strong in his legs, very flexible. The athletes that are playing squash these days are phenomenal. And
Got him, yes.
Yeah. Great volley boast. Tough shot on this glass court. The black ball's very heavy off the side walls. You've got to hit it a little bit firmer to get it up, but it definitely rewards a great shot. It's better width to the forehand. This is more like Abdulla.
Good speed, straightening.
The chance to put it away.
Oh. Trying to take the pace off that shot. Maybe didn't get through it enough.
Yeah, maybe waited a little bit too long, trying to hit it absolutely perfect rather than just getting the ball to the right area. That's what he's got to cut out of his game. He's done so well to get the lead, played great rallies, and then just give a point straight back to Campbell like that, sort of letting him off the hook. Now Campbell has a chance to build back into this game. Great defensive play from Abdulla. Now he has his variation at the front. Chance to win it. Yep. And that's a tale of this game, I think. Campbell, exact same position in the rally before, clips to the top of the tin. Abdulla gets a chance, same shot, puts it in the nick.
Game ball.
Yet again. Cheap rally back to Campbell. And as we know with this scoring, rallies can go so quick. 7-10 can evaporate very, very quickly. Abdulla's got to be careful.
$2. This goes in the nick, Zach. Get my checkbook out for you.
Yeah. Tough shot he tried to play there, Abdulla, rather than trying to put a straight volley drop in from behind himself rather than just floating the ball, returning the volley high back down the wall. Bit of reverse pressure here now. Back on Abdulla, even though he's got game ball. Campbell's got a bit of momentum. He'll be looking to close the gap. Got it. Oh, good volley, Campbell. You can see Abdulla's bandage around his knee. You can see why his knee's been bleeding the last few days with dives like that. Bit of bark off the knee.
Starting to look at his right knee in case he'd taken a bit off there too. Got to be very careful with the blood rule. If it's not covered correctly and re-bleed, very costly. Got to really weigh up whether the dive is at the right time.
We also saw Reece Dowling with a fairly average exhibition of the dive last night when he was playing Nicole. He actually dislocated his shoulder trying to dive for the game. Abdulla's still not happy with the way he's playing, I don't think, but he's leveled the ledger back at 1-1. Do you think Abdulla feels pretty confident having Rodney Martin and Jeff Hunt sitting in his corner at the back of the court?
Well, you wouldn't want to have to come up and explain to those two at once why you didn't play well or carry out their instructions. A couple of tough people to explain yourself to, especially at the same time, the same place.
Exactly. You also got no excuses, I don't think. Don't know if Campbell has anyone in his corner, actually. I saw Paul Cole walking around earlier, fellow Kiwi. A few others still floating around, but sometimes players prefer to sort of just be with their own thoughts. Not sure what Campbell prefers, but I'm sure he'll be doing whatever makes him comfortable, seeing as it's in final.
Never know, Ozzy might be watching from New York.
Absolutely, might be on the text.
Instant messenger between games.
It does happen these days, and I've done it myself. PSA Squash TV or live streams like this, and technology, obviously. Coaches, even though they're in another country, can text through after a game instructions. They don't actually have to be there in person. And trust me, that was nice sometimes when Rod was texting me.
Try and slip one in behind the player. It's a change-up.
It's a smart shot sometimes. Another volley boast. He's getting confident now, Abdulla.
Feeling the ball beautifully on those strings. Both mates needing space but respecting each other, not trying to use the interference rules too much.
Yeah, I think there's a common respect between these two. Both great guys off the court as well, so there shouldn't be too much movement issues.
Nice shot. Gave himself slightly more margin for error that time.
He's got to stick with Abdulla and keep the pressure on the scoreboard. He can't let Abdulla get 2, 3, 4, 5 points ahead, because his confidence will just grow and he's going to be too hard to deal with.
Got it past him. Keeping him moving, the pace is up again, like you said, Zach.
Yeah, and now Campbell has to be careful not to be going into that corner too often. Abdulla's reading it right behind him, and with great width on that cross court, the rally was over.
Maybe too much on that swing to slip it in off such a tight shot.
And he knows it was the wrong shot to play. You can see from his reaction. Sometimes I think he just can't help himself. Tries the hardest option all the time. As you know, James, it's a bit of a curse sometimes being too skillful and having all the shots at your disposal all the time.
Wouldn't know much about that, but I've heard about it. High pace and a lot of ball movement going on. Length has dropped off, but seems to be paying off.
Yeah, the match is being played a little bit more now on Abdulla's terms, moving the ball around. Campbell's not getting up onto those posts as quickly as he was in the first game, and I think that's being the difference.
Who would you say is the fitter player here, Zach? Abdulla's not scared to use up a lot of energy here, looking the pace and scrambling.
No, and that's something that he needs to be careful not tiring himself out too much without making Campbell do the work. Campbell's funny. He looks like he's really tired, but he can look like that for an hour. He actually he keeps going and going and going. He's steady, and he has a really, really big push on him when he needs to. I've played him several times and looked like he's down and out, but then again, the forehand kill or something comes in and he finds a way to win. So Abdulla had him then. Little backhand tickle boast, just clipped the top of the tin. So Campbell again, back to nearly level. it looks like Abdulla's going to have the game on his terms no matter what, right? He's going to persist with trying to move the ball around, keep playing those bursts. For every winner he hits, he's hitting a 10 though, so it's not a great strike rate, but there you go. Serve not good enough from Campbell, not on the wall, and against someone like this or any of the top guys, it's just going to get put away.
I'd bet that one was going to go there no matter what serve came, actually. Touch up. Both players just edging towards the end of the game. Each point just as important as the next.
Absolutely. Next 2 points crucial. Abdulla just really looking like he's trying to find a little bit too much. And this game is so important in the context of the match.
If I was Campbell, I'd be thinking about just hanging in, weathering this, because the percentages aren't there. Onto it quick enough to get it straight enough.
That's the shot he goes for when he's sort of wanting a cheap point, Campbell.
First one we've seen.
Yeah, I think he'll continue to go for it, but every chance he gets, as he gets a little bit more fatigued, that's the shot he goes for. Hard rally, really important. This is going to be worth a few points, I think, James. Yep.
The fatigue may be creeping into the mind, but not the legs yet.
Yeah, I think maybe watch for Campbell to try and sneak a cheap one here. Campbell asked for the court cleaner. Strategic?
I would say so.
Within the rules, though. They've definitely sweated enough out there.
Not much Abdulla can do about it.
No, he's probably a little bit happy with the break as well. He's got the 2-point lead. He's in the position. Ball's in his hand. He's in control. He won't mind a little bit of time to just regroup, go over in his head the game plan, what's been working for him. Just got to be careful. Even without them hitting the ball for 30 seconds, the ball goes so dead so quick. So the first person to take it in short with quality will often be rewarded. There it is. Just doesn't bounce.
Yeah, quality wasn't there.
No.
He probably expected it to kick onto him a tiny bit more.
Yeah.
handball for Abdulla to go 2-1 up.
It's out.
So held on, stayed focused, was 2-1 up.
Going away from the all black Campbell now. Fresh shirt. New start. At least his sleeves aren't down past his elbows now. He might be able to swing properly.
Yeah, can't hurt. Well, this is it. He's got to get this one if he wants to hang in to this 2016 Australian Open final.
I think the first 3 points are huge, and Campbell will know that. Abdulla goes up 2-1 or 3-love, and he's just going to ride the wave of confidence that he has. But if Campbell can get stuck into him, maybe force a few errors out of Abdulla, get a few quick rallies under his belt with a lead, then we could be going to a fifth.
Steady start, both players. Zach, with Abdulla being 2-1 up, is he going to change his plan at all?
I don't think so. It seems to be working for him, moving the ball around. As long as he doesn't make mistakes, that's the key. See, holds like that actually really, they're hard movements to get to the ball, especially on this glass court. Playing with the lower tin, 17-inch, movements are exaggerated.
Frustration. I'm sure Abdulla wouldn't be too concerned, enjoying the frustration starting to show. Can only be good for him.
Don't see the volley boast being played that often these days, but Abdulla has a great example of it and how effective it can be if you're on it early and you commit to it and the ball just staying wide around the court.
Definitely using it well to hold the centre, get the player to do the long diagonal. Le bon. Looking to lift the pace again, Abdulla. Seems to enjoy it.
He'll be running on adrenaline now, so excited. Just got to be careful he doesn't get a little bit silly.
Yeah, looking to the replay, maybe there. Might have been slightly harsh. Well worked. Is it starting to slide away?
It looks like it. Campbell's movement is a little bit laboured to the front of the court now. I think Abdullah is noticing that and really taking advantage of that. And obviously that's a bit of a cheap error from Campbell at this time of the game. He's got to know that now is the time he has to be really strong. No mistakes. Sort of giving it to Abdullah here a little bit.
Yeah. Not looking 100% to the front.
And Abdullah has the skills to really highlight that, which some players don't have. It's all well and good knowing your opponent is labouring or struggling to get up the front, but without the technical ability and the skill to really put it there at the right time well enough.
Nice wrist action there.
So many little subtleties in Abdullah's swing with his grip and with his hand and how he rolls on the ball over the strings and stuff like that. It's really great to watch. Last chance now, I think.
2-6. It's a big ask.
Every point for Campbell. He has to play like he's match ball down from here on in. Campbell was hanging in really well there. Abdulla probably didn't need to be that flashy. Just put it to the other corner like he'd done 3 or 4 times. See if Campbell can use all his experience to hang in here.
Did he clip that?
Caught behind.
Slip through to the keeper. See what the refs have to say.
Be interesting to see if they play a lead at the end of this rally. It's crucial. If Campbell wins it, there'll be no replay. If Abdulla wins it, there'll definitely be questions from Campbell.
I'd be questioning my own shot there.
When did the nerves kick in from Abdulla about winning the Australian Open?
Probably 2 rallies ago.
Gutsy shot, cross court backhand nick off the side wall.
Starting to kick himself home here. I heard something. Looked up. Oh, and he's got it back.
Great squeeze by Abdulla. Really, really tough shot. Defensive, high, tight, forehand drive. Got the reward. He looks focused, Abdulla.
Shot quality lifting as the match goes on. Defensive stuff improving. Shot selection's quite good.
Yeah, Campbell's going to have to hit some pretty ridiculous winners to get Abdulla off here. He's going to get everything back.
He's hitting himself.
He's had a bit of a history of closing out matches, or lack thereof, Abdulla in the past. Even as a junior, like, seen him sort of have fun always trying to finish on a nick, as some juniors like to do, and all that sort of stuff. Hopefully he's grown out of it today.
Would hate to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory in a final. Finds a nice angle.
That's where the maturity's come in this game in the last 6 months. Not trying to hit winners.
10-5, match ball.
See if he can do it first time. 2016 Australian Open final. Championship on the line.
I saw one of the referees put up the S for stroke there.
I did see that.
You don't really want to see it finish like that.
No. And I think that was probably one of those situations where Campbell was so worried about getting out of the way. If Abdulla just hit the ball down the wall, the match may well have been over. They have to play another rally now. Good lift. Oh, he's got it.
There it is. Hope you enjoyed the match. Thanks to Squash Australia for putting the tournament on. See you next year.
Congratulations to both players. Another tremendous match. Abdulla, can we get you back in for a bit of a chat? Certainly seemed like your body was okay today, and you started out on fire. I know you said the last 2 days it took you a little bit to kind of get going, but it certainly looked like you got going at the end there.
Yeah, I still had a slow start to the first one. Yeah, I felt good physically. I tried to pick up the pace, and I knew he had the long, tough one as well, the legs yesterday. So I tried to use my